Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we have another Wall Street Bets video where we're talking about a huge loss, one of the biggest losses that I've seen recently on Wall Street Bets, and that is a $350,000 loss. And I'm not going to be joking about this one as much because it seems like this dude is pretty distraught over this, and I'm definitely not going to add any salt to the wound here because I know this dude is probably so upset over this. And it's definitely a lesson for all of you out there that are curious about options or at least wondering whether you should do it in the future. Keep in mind, options are very, very risky, and it's something that I don't really engage in much. I'm not one of those people that constantly buys calls and puts options. Yes, I love Wall Street Bets for the content and for the hilarious memes and watching everybody else make money and lose money. But for me personally, it just doesn't fit my risk tolerance. I just much more prefer concentration within my portfolio, which you can still get some really solid gains out of. As you can see right here, just within the past year, I've made around 48%, and that is with me not having to do any options whatsoever, but I'm still able to make a significant amount of money. So far I've made around $34,500. That's definitely something that I'm pretty satisfied with. And as you can see, I only own three main stocks, which are Tesla, Microsoft, and Apple. This is just a free stock, so I don't count it. So I've found that this concentration strategy is pretty effective compared to other riskier strategies out there like options. It just doesn't fit my risk tolerance because at least if you buy a share of a stock, even if it does go down in the future, it's really never going to go down to zero unless it gets delisted, goes bankrupt, or something like that. So there's a lot less risk. So even if in the future the stock goes down in value, you're still able to sell it for some price instead of just having diamond hands with options and then it going all the way down to zero and you lose everything. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and check out this post on Reddit. And by the way, if you do enjoy this Wall Street Bets content, please make sure to smash that like button. I'm just curious if this is something you all are interested in. I personally have a lot of fun doing these videos because it's interesting to see what moves people are making and of course seeing other people play with big money that I don't have. So with this being said, let's go ahead and check out this Reddit post. And this is from user Tepextate, Tepextate. I don't really know how to say that, but he says, have lost $350,000 since I started trading options. And in this post, he states, entered the casino in early June 2020, and aside from a few periods of small wins, have gotten my face ripped off nonstop. As a final bout of complete idiocy, I threw $40K into 0DTE SPY Yolo yesterday when the market was going down as a last-ditch attempt to make back some of my money. I knew it was completely psychotic at the time, but was in a really bad headspace and jammed my buy button. Obviously that didn't work, and now I'm out another $40K. And then this post starts to get even more sad right here. You can tell this guy's definitely frustrated, and he states, I'm in a terrible headspace and I'm at a loss for what to do. The amount of disbelief, despair, shame, and guilt I feel is overwhelming, and I don't know how to pull myself out of this. Hoping that some of you fellow degenerates who have been in a similar situation who have some words of advice to share. If not, that's totally cool as well. The fault is obviously mine and mine alone, and that's what's eating away at me. So these are really what you see with the after effects of options sometimes. Yeah, you see the glorious post of people making millions and making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you also have to take a look at posts like these as well, where when someone loses a lot of money, especially like $350,000, I can only imagine where your headspace would be after a point in time like that. So yes, I think that options are definitely not something fit for this person, considering that he lost $350,000. Keep in mind, he lost $350,000 in only just over like a month now. It is currently July 16th, and he said he started options in June 2020. So it hasn't even been 2 months since he started, and this person has already lost $350,000. I'm not making fun of him or anything like that. I'm just stating when he started and how much he's lost just within that time frame. So that is a very significant amount to lose. So let's go ahead and check out his portfolio. As you can see right here, the 2-year change for his portfolio is minus $582,740. So it was kind of on a downtrend even before he started options. So like he said, he mentioned casino. That's basically options. Everybody jokes around about how it's just pretty much gambling. And as you can see, he says June of 2020 was when he started with options. So pretty much this downturn right here must have been from him investing. Honestly, just from looking at this 2-year portfolio, considering that he only started investing in June of 2020, given the fact that his portfolio has decreased in value over time, I think honestly a good idea for this person would be to just buy index funds. Yes, it's slow growth, but just viewing this person's portfolio and just looking at it, I'm assuming the stocks that he's picking is not performing well, because if he did own an index fund or just have a significant holding in an index fund or even an ETF like VOO, his chart should be positive for the long term. And we're talking about even before he started playing with options. So keep in mind this general downtrend here. I think a good idea for this person would be to invest in a safer index fund stock where, like I said, you get smaller growth, but at least it would be going up over time. It actually wouldn't be going down like it is already. So I guess the stocks that he's chosen so far haven't performed very well, and that's why it's already in a downturn. But if he did just invest every single bit of his portfolio into an index fund, I'm assuming it would actually be on an uphill incline, because the general trends of these index funds is up, and especially over the past 2 years, I know that it's in the positive and it's up and it's gained a lot so far. So it would pretty much be the opposite of this right here if he had just bought index funds. So that's why people like Warren Buffett recommend investing in index funds, because there's a lot of people out here that try to do stock picking and only a few individuals are successful at doing so. So you really have to be careful with stock picking. I know that I do it myself, but I'm really confident because of the research that I've done, and I've done my homework on the stocks that I own, and I have faith in them long term. So with that being said, as you can see right here, this is pretty much around when it started with the June options, and you just see a complete downturn all the way to almost near this 500K marker. So in the past 2 years, he has lost around $583,000. So as you can see right now, he did have like $1 million in June, and now he's down to like $601,000. And in addition, he has this account as well, and this one has pretty much gone down significantly. It went from like 100K in July to like almost $0. I'd say about 10K. So this person has definitely lost a lot of money on both accounts. One interesting thing about this is I did say $10,000, but it says that his account value is at $3,955. But the interesting thing about this chart right here is that technically he hasn't lost any money with this chart. Yes, he did go down significantly from like 100K to $4,000, but keep in mind that at the beginning of June, he was pretty much near the same marker in early June that he was on July 15th. So he turned a $4,000 account into like a $100,000 account. So that's actually pretty impressive. And even with him hitting that $4,000 marker and dropping significantly with his portfolio taking such a huge hit, he's still up 0.38%, or plus $14.94 so far. So I have to admit that is pretty impressive, the fact that he was able to turn a $4,000 account into like a $100,000 account. Yes, he could have deposited some money as well, but given the fact that he mentioned earlier that he started options in early June and then he lost a lot of money lately, I'm assuming that all of these were options. I'm making that assumption. So I have to admit it is pretty impressive that he was able to turn 4K into 100K. And honestly, I think that may be one of the reasons why he lost so much money on this other one, because I know a lot of people that do options. I have friends that do options, and they get really excited when they make some money off of it. And I know you get like an adrenaline rush when you're making crazy money from options. So I bet when he hit this peak of like 100K, when he went from like 30K to 100K, he probably really got that adrenaline rush, and it does get addicting. People can get addicted to options just like with gambling as well. So I'm kind of wondering, with this movement that occurred with him going from like 4K to 100K, I definitely think that had some influence on his larger portfolio as well, which is most likely what caused him to lose so much money, because once you get that adrenaline rush, it gets addicting and people start wanting to do options much more because they think they can, exponentially increase their portfolio once again. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when people have these huge movements upwards and make a lot of money from a small amount of money, that's usually a very rare occurrence. And they always say the common joke, first one is free, and then the next ones after that are pretty much all up to you. But I'll be the first one to say that the first one wasn't free for me. I think I've done options one time and then closed it out early at a small loss just because I realized it wasn't for me. But I definitely think this may have had some influence on his other portfolio here as well, where when you turn 4K into 100K, you definitely get that adrenaline rush. And that's probably what most likely led to him playing with even bigger money in the future with this larger portfolio here. But with that being said, in this video, I just want to emphasize that is why people commonly recommend against doing options. Yes, I know they're pretty fun to do if you have some gamble money, but I definitely wouldn't recommend putting a lot of money that would be useful for your future into options, because because you could technically lose years and years and years worth of effort just in a few months or maybe even a few days if you decide to do some extra risky plays. So that's why I want to emphasize, be super, super careful with options if you are going to do so. And this is just one of those case studies that shows how bad it can get sometimes if you do make the wrong decision or just get unlucky. So I definitely feel bad for this user. I hope he's doing all right now, because I know I can't even imagine how it would feel to lose that much money. So hopefully he's doing okay. Hopefully there's some people on that sub that will actually comfort him a little bit about it, because I know there's a lot of people on WallStreetBets that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there's definitely more people like him that he could kind of identify with and hopefully learn from this situation in the future. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please make sure to smash that like button if you did. And also feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull with my referral link in the description. If you sign up with those links, then you'll get some free stocks, which is some nice passive income to help cover some of your options losses if you have lost some before like this guy. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.